In this video you will hear 12 rules of wealth of John Davison Rockefeller. John Davison Rockefeller, recognized as the richest man on our planet in the last 100 years. His financial condition, translated into modern monetary units, amounted to more than $340 billion. The 12 Rockefeller rules are phrases collected by his fans from his quotes that Rockefeller uttered ever, and these quotes were published in an autobiographical book, Memoirs. John Rockefeller taught these rules to his only son, and Rockefeller's son, over time, passed these 12 rules to his 5 sons. Until now, the Rockefeller dynasty is considered one of the richest dynasties of the planet, having teamed up with the second, very wealthy American family, the Rothschilds. The attitude to these people can be different, but the main thing is clear: these people know how to be very rich and know how not to lose their wealth for many decades, because they follow the 12 John Rockefeller rules that we will cover in this video. Recall that John Rockefeller grew up in a rather poor large family, but this did not stop him from becoming a dollar billionaire and the world's largest oil tycoon. And this means that you should learn from this person, and of course it is very useful to listen to his advice. Rule 1. If you think you have not enough money, so it is necessary to establish your own business. It was in the opening of his own business that John Rockefeller saw the best way to get rid of poverty, and he successfully proved it by his example. Rule 2. Less work for someone else. The more you work for someone, the worse you live. John Rockefeller was convinced from personal experience that working for another person is the way to nowhere. John Rockefeller, at a very early age, at the age of 16, worked very little for someone else's company. Despite his zeal and rapid career growth, John Rockefeller realized that he needed to open his own business. Although he rose from being an assistant boggler to the head of the company, John Rockefeller understood that this was a dead end. He quit and became a business partner of another entrepreneur, borrowing the missing money for interest. Rule 3. Save money. Look for places where you can buy goods cheaper. Make a shopping list in advance and buy only what is on the list. John Rockefeller, every penny was on the bill. He did not spend money on useless things. He also did not spend money on something that could not increase his capital. From early childhood, John Rockefeller learned to save money in a piggy bank, which allowed him to give a person a first loan at interest already at the age of 13 years old. And at the age of 18, John Rockefeller became a business partner. Rule 4. The path to great wealth. A passive income that comes regardless of your efforts. Create a source of passive income, and enjoy life. Gradually, John Rockefeller turned from a businessman into an investor. He became the owner of a large number of enterprises that brought him income without his intervention. The physical capabilities of any person are always limited, which means that only passive income can become a source of great wealth, and John Rockefeller proved this in practice. Rule 5. Think about how to earn at least $50,000 per month. Possible, but not less. That is the amount spent rich people in the world every month. This amount of money was recommended by Rockefeller based on his experience. He believed that even a very rich person should not spend more than $50,000 a month on everyday expenses. This is the limit that is undesirable to exceed. Therefore, Rockefeller voiced exactly this amount in his rules of wealth. Rule 6. Talk more, especially with successful people. Unsociable people rarely become rich. Money comes through other people, so talk more, especially with successful people. Rockefeller was convinced that communication with other people and a friendly attitude towards them helps to reach wealth. since it is much more difficult to achieve wealth yourself. At his oil company, Standard Oil, Rockefeller paid out wages by the shares of his company. Thus, each employee was interested in the success of the company and personal affairs. After all, personal income on the shares of each employee depended on the success of the company. Therefore, each employee worked with the utmost zeal, enriching both himself and Standard Oil. Rule 7. Poor surroundings almost always drag you into poverty. Try to surround yourself only with winners and optimists. John Rockefeller understood that poor people have a psychology of poverty. They always complain and do not take responsibility, so communicating with the poor will not bring anything useful, but only accustom you to the same negative thoughts. Rich people, on the contrary, have a psychology of success and think about different opportunities, and they are also able to energize and motivate other people with their optimism. So communicating with rich and successful people is always useful and informative. Rule 8. Poverty arises from shirking responsibility. Do not come up with excuses for yourself why right now you cannot begin to go towards your goal. Often people try to justify their indecision by some external reasons. There can be no excuses, and if you come up with them, then you doom yourself to poverty. Therefore, no excuses. Get used to full responsibility for your life. Rule 9. Learn biography, statements and thoughts of the richest men in the world. The richest people in the world have shown by their own example how success can be achieved. Therefore, their stories and thoughts can always be used as rules of wealth. A good role model should always be studied and adopted to achieve your own success. Rule 10. Dreams are the main thing in your life. A person begins to die when he ceases to dream. John Rockefeller was convinced that dreaming is not only not harmful, but also useful and even necessary. It is dreams that turn into goals, and when goals are achieved, dreams turn into reality. And if a person has no dreams and visions of his future, then he simply has nothing to strive for. John Rockefeller dreamed of earning $100,000 since childhood, and earned $1.4 billion. Rule 11. Help people disinterestedly, from a pure heart, but only to those whom you yourself want to help. Constantly give 10% of your profits to charity. John Rockefeller has been a philanthropist all his life. From early childhood, he donated 10% of his earnings to the needs of the church. Later, Rockefeller began financing other charity projects, and in his old age he distributed about $500 million for charity. John Rockefeller recommends always providing assistance to those who need it, giving them money from the bottom of their hearts. Rule 12. Create business systems that will work for you and enjoy your money. The last rule of John Rockefeller's wealth means that it makes no sense to just save money. They need to invest in business and use the money for their own good, enjoying it. Wealth should make a person happy, otherwise it makes no sense. Here there are 12 rules of John Rockefeller. I hope that after watching this video, you will learn a lesson from these rules and become richer and happier. Thanks for watching this video.